Liverpool 4, Porto 1. We're through to the semi-finals. Professional job and business as usual for Liverpool, bro. That's getting very common grounds for us, mate. How do you feel about today? Like, thing is, before we go into it, like I definitely felt that we was gonna go through today, even though we said, right, if we get that away goal. But the first half, Porto started sick.
I said it. I called my prediction was 1-1. Looking at it now, it sounds stupid. But if you actually look at the game, because that scoreline doesn't reflect, it's not a true reflection of the game. Let's be honest.
Well, not the first half, anyway.
Yeah, first half of the game. But I think the difference is, I mean, as I said, I thought it'd be 1-1 because I thought they were going to score, and I thought we were getting an away goal and kind of nullify the game or whatever. But we looked quite open. But I think sometimes you just have to give credit where it's due, in the sense that they attacked. And they've attacked well today. They've got a very, very good record at home. I don't think they've lost a game for I don't know how long. They were the better side first half. There's no two ways about it. They actually, caused a lot of problems. But this is where having a world-class goalkeeper makes a difference, I think, anyway. Because those shots that were coming on goal, there's no spilling. There's no.
It's tidy.
It's tidy. And that's what you want, is a goalkeeper. So with Karius last year, you always felt that sometimes, even that, when someone takes a shot, he sort of it will parry out of his hands and then he'll pick it up and run out with it. Just little things like that. It just gives teams confidence. With these they're probably thinking, right, it's hard enough to try and penetrate this defence, and then you've got this fucker in goal who's catching pigeons in his spare time. You know what I mean? So I just think that was the difference for me anyway. It just made you feel a little bit more comfortable. Those shots they were taking, skidding just before him, he's just taking them in his grasp and then setting us up for whatever. And I think that was why we stayed in the game, and that's why you pay the money for big goalkeepers.
Before we get into all the great stuff here, I think as you talk about the first half, let's just talk about Liverpool's away performances throughout the whole Champions League have been dud. Yeah, probably Bayern Munich, that was a decent one. So to think that we've got this far based upon those away performances, and today in the first half, we said we weren't on it. Is that something to worry about going to the next round, or do you think now it's just going to be pure momentum going into the next games and thinking that, you know what, we can go all the way now? Because it worried me the first half. I was thinking, what are we doing? We can't hold the ball. And I was thinking the likes of Henderson, he didn't start. He's been playing really, really well, and he was not in the team. And Origi, why? Why this game? Do you know what I mean?
And it's weird because I'm you know me, innit? I'm always about giving that guy a chance because I think he deserves it. But not in the second level of Champions League. When a one goal can swing the whole tie.
Yeah.
So, but as I said, the manager's obviously seen that he's doing something right, and he obviously deserved his chance. I just don't think it was maybe kill the game off and then bring him on, is what I'd say. But
the first half, we couldn't even hold the ball. Literally, every time we did win the ball back, we literally give it straight back to them. And for me, it was just a bit like thinking, hold on a second, we're meant to be a decent team, and we can't even hold the ball right now. I think
we were getting hustled. And I think again, you got to give credit to Porto because they played really well. First half, they played very well. It was a lot of pressure. They were doubling up in wide areas. Fullbacks have to make a decision: do I stay or do I go? If I don't go, do I let them cross? They're loading the box. So they played a risky game. But
could we be better?
I think we. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I think definitely we could be better. But sometimes it's like being better is not necessarily popping it out, but sticking it in a good area and getting up the pitch. I just felt like we were pegged in the whole time, and when we got the ball, making wrong decisions in bad areas, and they're back on us again. Yeah, they wanted us to play long because they backed their centre half to beat ours in the air. But sometimes just stick it in an area and turn them.
Yeah,
and just turn them and play in their half. I know it's like old school mentality, but sometimes you have to, because when you're hemmed in like that, you have to try and get up the pitch, and then let them make the mistake.
But don't you think that's going to happen with Barcelona? Do you know what I mean? Like Barcelona going to Nou Camp first. How are we going to deal with that? That's what worries me a little bit. Like, going away, we haven't filled us anyone with confidence, and then we're going to go to the Nou Camp.
The only thing about Barcelona game that fills me with any form of confidence is that they are not going to look at Liverpool as, I was going to say not as a threat. They obviously will see Liverpool as a threat, but they're going to look at Liverpool and think, well, if we hit our straps, we win this game. And that is going to mean Alba flying forward, and that's going to mean whoever they've got on the right-hand side, that Roberto is going to be flying forward, which is great, because that means that if you're going to go that way, you might overload, once or twice, but you can overload some wide areas and you put a cross in. I back Van Dijk to beat him in Suarez in the air. So it's going to be a case of who's got, I guess, bigger cojones, really. Are Liverpool going to go in there and say, right, well, you're not going to try and play your game. We back ourselves to beat you at our game on our day is better than what your game's going to be, because we're going to punish you going that way. Man United, the only reason they didn't score against them because they were blunt going that way.
Yeah,
but
they
it's
missed
not,
their
and it's
chances.
not, it's not like they were, when you're chasing the game, I think Man United got absolutely outplayed when they were chasing the game. But before that point, the first 15 minutes of that game, United were well in it. So I think this game's slightly different because Porto, a bit of an unknown quantity, it's a bit of a raucous atmosphere. In Spain, it's going to be slightly different. I think it's a massive stadium. It's a theatre. People go there to watch football. They're not, they're going to expect a big game. So I'm actually looking forward to it.
Oh, I'm buzzing for it.
And I just love the fact that we're, that's a Champions League final, a semi-final, top 4 finishes. That for me, again, progression.
So the first half, there was literally Liverpool had 0 shots on goal. 0 attempts, no shots on target, and they had about 13 attempts. And suddenly that goal comes out of pretty much nowhere, and VAR. Forever how chunky it is, how slow it is, I'm happy it was there because everybody, even Mane, said that, you know what, I didn't think it was a goal.
I was just saying, I watched it, I thought, God, just get on with it, man. Come on, just get on with it.
Yeah, we know it's offside. Suddenly like, what? And you see Salah as well. Salah lost his shit.
Big goal, that's a big goal.
Yeah, huge goal. That changed everything because as soon as that goal happened, Porto literally lost all hope. And the game for me then changed. And then the biggest thing, I think, was half-time. He saw Origi wasn't doing it. People saying Origi might get a knock and all this stuff. It wasn't enough to do no knock. Klopp had seen enough. I feel sorry for him to be playing out on the left anyway. For me, if you're going to play Origi, play him as a striker.
He did play centrally for a bit as well.
But, yeah.
It just couldn't get in the game. He's up against an old school beast.
Every time he tried.
And Pepe's a moron. He is a moron. Some of the stuff he does, you do look at him and think, oh, come on, mate.
Yeah.
Grow up.
And then he tried to go to the referee and said it wasn't a foul. But as soon as Bobby came on, oh my good Lord. This guy, all Liverpool fans already know how good this guy is, but he makes Liverpool tick.
And Hendo, to be fair to him as well.
Yeah, when he came on, but Bobby was on there from the half-time.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. Because once you get that first goal, it allows Liverpool, and that's the beauty of having quality in your team, is that teams will have spells at this level. Of course they will. At that level, there's quality players, and they will have spells. The difference is now we're able to ride the spell and stay in the game. And that's the one thing I think. I mean, it happens at every level. It doesn't matter if it's a Saturday league or a Sunday league or whatever. In 90 minutes, in a confined space, a team will have a spell. Whether that be just launching and playing second balls, or if they're just popping it, they're going to have a spell. Porto had a spell, a sustained spell, and Liverpool were able to ride that storm and say, well, now you lot have gone all out. You've exerted all your energy, and now this is where the quality shows. And that's what happens. You pick them off, and we win the game. The scoreline does flatter us, but,
Well, you say flatter us, but I think the second half was completely different. Like you said, the mindset of Porto had changed. They weren't going for it. And I think the thing that's changed a lot with Liverpool now, teams look at them thinking, how are we going to score 4 against this team? That's how they feel. The defence has become so solid. People think, okay, we maybe need to nick a goal, but 4 goals against that defence, it ain't going to happen. And then I think that's why the 4-1 afterwards, it was right, because Liverpool then were just fully buzzing. Henderson came on, like you said. He plays a pivotal role in some of the through balls he gave, the cross he gave for Firmino. And Firmino, for the Salah goal, he started that, with then pushed onto Trent and then fizzed through to Salah. And so I think the second half was completely different, and Porto were wasted by then, and they weren't really interested. So I think the scoreline was fair towards the end, right? To the second half performance by Liverpool.
I disagree, but...
Wait, you didn't think the second half was good?
No, I thought it was
well dominant.
I thought they played much better in the second half, of course. But I don't think 4-1 is a true reflection of the game, of 90 minutes of football. I don't think 90 minutes of football says that we deserve to win that game 4-1. Because if what you're saying is the case, then Porto deserved to score 3 goals first half. So you can't break it down to half of football. I'm saying over 90 minutes, it's flat. But I'm not complaining. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy. I'll take that all day, every day, because it just looks like it's just been a... Thanks very much. It was a regulation thing. It wasn't. It was a lot harder than it suggests. But when their heads dropped, then our quality showed. So we'll take it.
And for man of the match, who did you had for man of the match?
It sounds like I say we say it quite a lot, but I thought Van Dijk was put under quite a lot of pressure today. They were trying to be physical with him, but he made 2 blocks when he tracked back. I think the flag did go up in one of them, but to make that ground up in such a quick time, he did it twice when they looked like they were going to get in, and he's got in. So I think those were very important tackles. I thought Alisson was good, and he filled me with a lot of confidence, but I'd say Van Dijk.
Yeah, for me, Bobby. As soon as he came on half-time, he changed the whole game for me. A bit unfair, as I said, because they had got the goal at the time, so it was slightly different. But I think Bobby was influential. You could see straight away involved in everything. So, so Man City. We have to touch on them before we end this video.
Spurs, listen. I know you lot are buzzing now. let's just take this momentum. You know, that's what you say as a manager. Let's take this momentum into the weekend and let's build on that performance. Yeah, come on, guys. You know, listen, I've always backed you lot. You lot got a little something in there. Come on, let's take this momentum forward and let's do the same thing on the weekend. That'd be very nice.
Man City going to be pissed on the weekend. I think Man City...
it's going to go one or two ways in there.
The way they lost that as well, because they got so hyped because they thought they'd done it, and then to do that to them. But VAR played a big part into that game and even Liverpool's game as well. Do you know what I mean? So
I don't know, man. I'm still very, very on the fence with VAR because...
Even after today's decision...
No, but from that side of it,
yeah,
that's what it's there for, to make sure that you eradicate...
And it was right.
Listen, as I said, from that element of it, I'm happy with VAR. But the one element I'm not happy about, and I won't be happy about, is that the handballs, because they're now going to change the rules. If they're going to bring VAR in, and it's now just handball and not a deliberate handball. So it's going to be, if it's a handball, it's a penalty. So as far as I'm concerned, the VAR is just going to be used for handballs in the box then. So if you're going to do that, implement it across the pitch then you'll be stopping every 2 seconds. That is where I'm not happy. I'm not comfortable with it. I'm all for eradicating mistakes. If there's a mistake made or an offside, that's, if it's not a goal, it shouldn't be a goal. But the handballs, I mean, PSG's Man United handball, let's be honest, it wasn't a handball. It shouldn't have been a handball. Man United fans were buzzing because it was given, but it shouldn't have been a handball. If that's the precedent, then I'm sorry, then we got problems next season. We've got a lot of problems.
How do you think this defeat will influence Man City?
One or two ways. They're either going to come back and slap the shit out of Spurs on the weekend to say, listen, you're going to have to pay for that. Or it's going to be one of those that to show that, we're not quite what we thought we were.
I think it adds a lot of pressure on Man City now. So they have to deliver and win that trophy now, the Premier League. It's going to add pressure because if they start falling behind and they feel that seeing it going away from them, there's going to be a lot of stick. It's suddenly going from to win the quadruple.
Yeah, it's going to be, as I said, very interesting because I don't think it's going to be like, it won't stay the same now. Something's going to give, I think, and this is going to be this is going to be the proving moment, the pivotal moment in the title race. It's either going to swing one way and they're going to go, you know what, I don't want to feel like that, or we don't want to feel like that again, and we're going to slap up Spurs and make them pay for what they have done, or the wheels are going to fall off. The other thing I will say is, how are you going to be on Sky Sports News on the day of the game saying that there's tickets still available for the Etihad? Come on now.
This is what I'm saying. Like I don't like Spurs, but I'd rather win out of those two. Spurs,
a team with a fan base.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. So I don't know, but as I say, I think it's going to put some pressure on Man City. But I think we'll see. I reckon they'll come back and do it. But anyway, so until the next game, which is on the weekend, we've got Cardiff away. Any problems there for you?
To be fair,
after beating Brighton as well.
That's what I'm saying. They're going to be fully boosted now. They'll be fully gassed because think about it. The 2 games before that, they've had dodgy decisions when that's cost them, and then they've gone and won, and now their tails are going to be up because they are chasing that pack. So not a good time to play them, but I've got faith in the boys to go there and get the job done.
I think so. They'll get the job done as well. So until the next video, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe, and comment.
Peace.